Hi, and welcome to another Pioneer 5 Color Niv stream and video. Um, I am recording this today. It's Tuesday, day after, I believe it's February 16th, day after the bans that shook up pretty much every format in Magic the Gathering. And we're playing a little Niv to Light deck that I have played quite a bit for in Pioneer since close to the beginning of Pioneer's existence. Pioneer got hit hard, but Niv got hit pretty hard in particular. Um, with the ban we lost Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, we lost Teferi Time Raveler, uh, both of which were pretty vital to the deck, and we made great use of. Were just great tools to have in numerous matchups. And Uro was kind of the glue to a lot of what we are trying to do. It fixed our mana, often fixed our colors, drew a card, gained life, and was a recursive threat that was generally hard to kill. So there's really no replacing Uro, but the good news is that a lot of decks lost Uro, so we don't have to deal with playing against a card like Uro. We don't have to deal with playing a card like Teferi, even though we lost it. So whether or not that hurt us more than other decks is remained to be seen. Part of the problem is I think Niv can still exist as a deck, um, but it is it's a lot weaker now. And whereas other decks that played Uro were basically built around Uro, so decks like Sultai Reclamation basically don't exist anymore. Well, I mean, they lost Uro and they lost Wilderness Reclamation, so they can't exist anymore. But really have to drain like that archetype in general has to change drastically. Whereas Niv is still kind of keeping generally the same identity, but then just operating at a lower power level. So it's I don't know if this deck needs just a complete rethink, or maybe it is good enough. It was good enough before Uro existed, so we'll see. Preliminary from what I've heard so far is that aggro is kind of a big deal and tough to combat, and some of the more combo-ish decks, such as Lotus Field, are kind of a bit of a big deal right now. So this is a deck I'm going to be playing in a league. Uh, as you can see, some card choices. We're trying some stuff out. Trying out Asika as maybe potentially an engine card towards the end, but more for the ramp aspect of it. And it's the 1/4 body is probably going to be pretty relevant um, against aggro decks. I'm still playing one of Valky. I know Claudio, who is the trophy leader and an excellent 5 color Niv player, has not been playing Valky, and reasoning is not very good against aggro. I think that's the reasoning, anyways, and also probably not combo either, like Lotus Field decks. So it's possible that we don't want this. I still think Valky could be good. I am kind of expecting the once the format once the format starts to settle and take shape, um, that it's going to start leaning a little bit more mid range, because I do think there's going to be a reaction to all the aggro. Um, and whether or not that reaction is going to be good is we're yet to see. But I still am expecting it to happen, and for Valky eventually to be good. Plus, I don't think like a 5 mana Valky or a turn 4 Valky, off Bring the Light, is still going to be game winning on a lot of boards. And, as a 2 drop, looking at their hand, you know, even if it's probably just going to eat a removal spell, and it doesn't really block very well, it's kind of still relevant. So, I'm still fine with this card. I think the arguments against it being the deck are sound, but I still think the power level is very high. The ceiling of this card is very high. and make it worth playing still, or at least trying out. The rest of what I'm looking to try to do is basically ramp as quickly to 4 and 5. That's why you see Growth Spiral, again, Asika, and then essentially try to stay alive to get there. That's where the Oath of Kaya's, Dreadbores, Abrupt Decays come in, Deafening Clarion. Then we try to take over with our fives. We're going to be testing out Nico Aris, uh, Tyler O'Brien, another very good Niv player, played this in a league, I believe today, in a couple leagues, and said early thoughts on this card where it's good. I think it does look pretty good. The -1 dealing 2 damage to target tap creature for each card you've drawn this turn is basically essentially it's always going to do 2 damage to a creature, and if like Burn is a big player in the meta, then that's always going to kind of be relevant. It killing a creature and then basically gaining you 2-3 life is is a fine card, and then drawing it late is going to be even better. And um, I don't think you mind drawing this card pretty much at any point in the game or against any matchup. So this is probably going to be good in mid range, probably going to be good in um, control, like against control matchups and so forth. Probably not as much against combo. You're not going to want to see it there, but I mean, that's all right. So, and then the sideboard is geared towards fighting combo. I still play slaughter games. It could be possible that we want Unmoored Ego. I don't want my extraction effect to get countered. That's why I'm playing here. Also, even before we get Unmoored Ego down, a deck like I find that a deck like Lotus Field can get the Lotus Field down itself before we could even Unmoored Ego. So, because Unmoored Ego could take a land, whereas Slaughter games cannot. So that's kind of relevant for me. Knight of Autumn gains life and deals with cards like a bunch of cards out of mono red, including Roiling Vortex and Eidolon, and then also if the Auras deck is a thing, could deal with that. Growl Charm for Spirits, which is apparently running around a lot. Notion Thief for um, the Lotus Field deck. D-Spark mainly here for... I'm mainly playing it to answer cards like Vorinclex and Nissas and Vivians out of mono green, but also could come in against anything that's going bigger overall. And in the mirror, Fatal Push is pretty obvious, any aggro deck. Basically a catch-all. Kalidas is for aggro decks as well. And yeah, that's the deck. So we're going to jump into a league and see how we do. Let me make sure I have the right deck. Also, the mana base, I'm not sure. I just kind of threw the deck together with kind of a pre-existing mana base. I usually figure out what I want for a mana base as I try. I get an idea. I have an idea. I usually want more green. Secondary is blue, black, white, red, something along those lines. Now that Earl is gone, it changes a bit. Green seems a little bit more heavy, but with like a Sika. But we're playing Growth Spiral, so I still think you generally want the same mana base overall. Um, all right, yeah, this is the right deck, so we'll submit. 175 players. That's more than I've seen in a while. So hopefully we won't wait too long. Used to be waiting for 3+ minutes to find a match. Was not long at all. See what we get. Let me just adjust this so I can see the chat screen in case anyone decides to jump into chat. Actually jump into chat and talk. I could see it. It's a little slow. I'm expecting aggro. Our colors are pretty fixed. It might be keepable. Shadow's Verdict is a thing. Omnath will keep us alive. I'm going to keep it. I actually don't think this is a keepable hand, but I'm doing this kind of for science. I really don't know too much of where the meta's at. I still think that there's going to be a variety of decks that people are going to be trying out. And if we can survive to past turn 4, we're looking pretty good. Drowned Catacomb. Maybe this is the mirror. I've also been hearing about some Sultai deck. If this is a Sultai deck, then Thing in the Ice. Okay, this is not a Sultai deck. All right, so that's not bad for us. I hope. We could definitely have an answer for it, but maybe they're playing counter spells. And this is kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting to see a bit of what the heck are they doing. Is a brand new format basically. Duress by Shadow's Verdict could be the take here. Maybe Bring the Light. Main deck Duress, huh? Interesting. Opponent's probably thinking, what the heck are you doing keeping that hand? Mono 5s. Thoughtseize. Nice. Take Omnath, I think. Oh, it takes care of God. Sure. So they're just going to bounce Thing in the Ice anyways, so I'm going to just take a little look at their hand. Maybe they'll kill it. Oh, Fatal Push, so they'll probably just kill it, right? We'll go here. But actually they'll try to kill it and it'll just end up bouncing the Valky. So that's kind of fine. Now they bounce it. And they're going to take... they might take Shadow's Verdict here. No, they take Omnath, so they take my mid-game. Now, so they have Fatal Push is the only card. So no, playing Valky here is not a good idea. I think what we just want to do is hope they don't draw something to get my Shadow's Verdict out of my hand. Yeah. Okay. So we have to hope to rip one of our removal spells since Verdict is gone. Or like a blocker. Blocker works. That's even better. That's a removal spell. A lot of lands. Alright, so this has got to be a Plains. Perfect draw. Your Fatal Push doesn't do much against Nahiri. So we're not going to play Valky with what they have. Because they are rocking a Fatal Push. Still have Fatal Push. That's it. I'm going to hold on to this in case we draw Uro. Oh. Okay, we can see how Nico Aris does. Do I want to pitch the swamp to Nahiri? You know what? I don't think I do. Because I think I actually want to get to Valky. This has got to be an island, so I can cast Nico. Why not, right? Get full value of X. Not doing anything else. Draw some cards. And we'll make another shard. All right. So Fatal Push looks great here. Um, Digging the Ice. What else could we expect from a blue-black deck? That's tons of removal spells. It looks like they just try to get a cheap creatures on the board. Shadow's Verdict. We probably don't need the sweepers. Probably don't need Oath of Kaya. Don't kill Thing in the Ice anyways, and that's the only creature that I saw. Contemplating Kalidas. I want the removal. Probably not Tulsimer. I don't think there's anything else I really want to bring in. So I guess we'll go here. We'll see what else they're doing. They're blue-black, so maybe they're a Scarab God deck themselves. So could be an argument that we want Despark. Um, we could also handle it with Valky, uh, Nahiri, bring the light. I mean, not cleanly bring the light. Nahiri also they have to attack with it, so that's a thing. So it's possible, but I didn't see that out of them. So I'm gonna wait to see if that's what they ultimately do. Well, we could cast Nico Dreadbore, and uh, we're we're a little bit off of Omnath with this, so I think we keep. Okay, well that's a Ketria Triome. That fixes green for us. Still can't cast Omnath on turn 4 if the land situation stays the same, but we can cast everything else. The rest, maybe Dreadbore, maybe Nico. Sure. I get what they're trying to do here. I just don't know if I like this without some kind of robust game plan to go along with it. Yeah, we'll just play this out. We can't cast that. Not yet. Maybe we put it on the enchantment side, though. It's 5 mana. Frantic inventory. Okay, so that actually, we can't cast this, but I don't know if we're actually looking to do that now. I think we might be trying to get to the 5 mana side. Um, we will be able to cast Omnath though, so I will not reveal the Steam Vents, and I'll just play Watery Grave tapped. And then we'll go Omnath next turn. Okay, bunch of cards. Thoughtseize Duress again. Tome Scour. Bring the light, sure. Red, blue, white, and green. Omnath. There's a Valky. And next turn we could bring the light. Or if they rip my hand apart again, we could do the other side of Asika. Well, I mean, if they rip my hand apart, they'll probably take one or the other, or both, Asika and then bring to light. Opt, sure. Works for me. All right. We could play Drowned Catacomb here and just get Niv Daddy. Red, blue, black, white, green. Could meme and go Asika. We're not going to bother. And they just conceded. Okay. There's just one game, and the deck we played against didn't seem that good. It seemed very unrefined. Maybe a decent idea, but very unrefined. So hard to tell where the power level is with just one game, but it felt good. The situations where I had Nico, it seemed good. So that's positive. Um, it mattered pretty much every time I drew it. I had it in the opening hand game two, and it seemed like it was a thing to do. Uh, it was going to do something relevant to that match. So that was good early look at it. Um, not waiting that long for my second match. That was great. This is nice to see if we get a few more active players in the queue. Still not a lot, so still maybe a lot of people just not happy with Pioneer, just so off it at this point. All right, they decided not to show. Yeah, I'm playing three Omnath, three Growth Spiral. Um, a lot for the just to add to the consistency of the deck, and the life gain is pretty relevant. It would be relevant in an aggro meta. I know a lot of people have been playing too. Maybe that's right. I could be wrong, but that's just the reason why I made the choices that I did. Enlarge to show texture. That's a very good name. All right, we're on the play. Yes, this hand is a keeper. We got Growth Spiral. Turn two Growth Spiral. A little awkward with Dreadbore. I'm not going to have the mana for Dreadbore yet, but that's okay. We could go green, play blue. This could get, depending on what we draw. No real. There's probably some value in not fetching a forest here, but I don't think it's going to be super high. All right, so I wonder if this is going to be the green deck playing a lot of counters, like Vorinclex and stuff. I'm just going to Growth Spiral now for S6 value. I am going to fetch black so I can play Abrupt Decay. Okay. Yeah, and I think here I'm just going to play out. It feels rough killing an elf with a 4 mana card, but I want to make sure I hit my land drop next turn. And this won't fix my mana, unfortunately. There's Vivian. If we can get a red, we still have an answer to that. Um, can't play anything, but we can kill the elf. So I guess we're more likely. What are we more likely to draw? White or red? We need both. Though if I get white, I could also cast Tolsamir. Do I have red-white? Red-white land in here? Oh, I can't. So I guess it's going to probably be Indatha, because I could get Tolsamir. And I won't be able to Dreadbore this, which kind of stinks, but Karn, nice. Red source. Kind of a red source? Do we Valky here? That's the question. Actually, I kind of like it. They could do something. They got Darksteel Citadel. They're still, uh, they have to have exactly Castle Garenbrig in order to um, play Vorinclex, and I have an answer to Vorinclex anyways, so I think I'm just going to Valky here. Eh, okay. If we could get a red, they're probably going to get something to shut off my Valky. Pithing Needle, yep. Mm-hmm. So I could draw another Decay to get rid of the Pithing Needle. I kind of not worried about Pithing Needle right now, though, as much as getting this Nissa off the board. They got another elf. This is just not working out, is it? Oh, I didn't even tap my green. Oh, they could now just get Ulamog, sure. Yeah, we'll just... I'm fine with conceding there and just not waiting to see if... They're super far ahead anyways with me not being able to get, me not hitting a red source. I like a lot of removal spells here. I'm actually not super high on Omnath in the match. Nico kills something, so that could stay. No Scarab God. We want to ramp. I kind of like Valky. Oath of Kaya. Maybe not a Sika. It ramps. I guess it does ramp and block. Maybe. That basically kills everything. Maybe we get rid of Valky. Doesn't hit. Valky notably does not get rid of Vorinclex because um, it comes in too late. Unless we get it down before, of course. Maybe. Instead of what? A growth spiral? We kind of want to ramp to our 5. That's how we win. What do I cut? A Niv? Yeah, I could see that. They can't remove a Niv, basically, once it gets there. I mean, except for a aligned Hedron network. So, uh, we probably don't need too many of them. We do want to see it, though. Mm, probably want it more than... what is Valky? Does Valky get rid of artifacts, too? Gets rid of an artifact. Okay. Yeah, alright, we'll try it. I probably maybe want it to be Niv instead of the Valky there. So, but this is for trying stuff out, not just is definitely a keep. This is for we're trying stuff out, not just not just we have to figure out what's good, and we have to figure out the lines that are good and so forth. So I'm cool with having the Valky in there to see what's up. All right, and next turn we can kill uh, play Caryatid and kill an elf. Slow him down a lot. I brought D-Spark in, right? Yeah. And another elf. Okay. So hopefully we draw an untapped land. We don't. So we have to develop our mana. We're going to go here. We don't draw land at all, in fact. And we'll just kill an elf, and hopefully we get lucky. Sure. That I don't care about, so I get to kill an elf here. Or we can't play Niv. Effectively slowed them down enough. Care less about that. I'm not going to crack this yet because I want to draw land. We did. We can leave it untapped too. So overgrown tomb. Mountain. Do I care? Yeah, we'll just take the pain. I don't think we are worried too much about them catching up from here. Nice. All right. So anything I want to do differently? I do think I actually want to go as Sika and ramp. It is a little slow though over Valky. It's just I don't think we're going to get Valky down. Oh, maybe we want Colitas? It doesn't kill anything though. Hmm. Yeah, we'll try it. No green. This I have to mull. This is a keep. Um, do we go Nico or do we go Nahiri? I think we keep Dreadbore. We'll be able to cast it. We keep all our lands. We keep Sylvan. And I think we go here. Dude, sure. Didn't play. Play it. Triome into Island. Carried. Sure. Attack. So they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be able to answer whatever they do here. They played their land already, so we're not going to get any kind of shenanigans with. Uh, there's Nissa, so we'll be able to kill the Nissa. Sure. Oh, that's kind of cool actually, because now this allows me to develop my mana, red, black, kill Nissa, while also it allows me to develop my mana while also killing a creature. So if they have a lot of gas still, we're in a bit of trouble. Yeah, that's pressure. Take it. So we could despark here, but we are, like I said, in trouble. So I can Nico, but I don't know what Nico accomplishes. In fact, leaves me dead. Um, I would be forced to block with carried. I mean, I am forced kind of. I'm not forced to block with carried yet. I guess we'll wait to see what they do. So I'm just going to play this untapped. We're pretty behind here. If these last two cards are gas. Yeah. You know, I despise this deck, Mono Green, and not because it's a bad deck, but because I've played it a few times and I feel like I just always draw dorks. So it's not really it didn't do anything wrong. I guess it doesn't matter which one I use. Let's see if I which one I block, I should say. Here. Oh, well, that would have been helpful a while ago. This is where Hour of Devastation would come in, which I'm not playing. Probably should have. And we're just dead. So probably Shadow's Verdict is not bad, but probably somewhere in here, want to play Hour for those exact scenarios right there. Maybe we don't need all of these. Kind of know that deck is going to be running around some form of that mono green deck. Maybe we don't even want Shadow's Verdict anymore. Only thing is I like Shadow's Verdict against a lot of the aggro decks like Auras. But if that's not really a player in the format, then we don't really want this. All right, moving along pretty quickly. That doesn't happen a lot. All right, mulligan that. I'm going to keep this, and I am not. I'm going to keep Shadow's Verdict because I'm going to assume it's very likely that we're going to be playing against some sort of aggro deck. So a card like this is going to be good. So, and what I will put back will be the basic mountain. Start with Ketria Triome. This playing the Ketria Triome will stink if I end up just drawing a whole bunch of lands, but I don't think that's as likely. I think it's more likely that we're just gonna want this in play anyways. Oh, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to pain. I could have just played out Rootbound Crag. I forgot I had blue there. Maze Mind. So some sort of black-white control deck. So we're not going to play that Triome. We're just going to play the Temple. And we're going to look to just cycle this. No reason to cycle it now. We could also destroy the Mazebind Tome. I kind of want to cycle first. I also want to see what they're doing before I make a decision. Yeah, so I think I'm going to want to destroy that over the Mazebind Tome. Sure. Okay, that destroys it. That destroys Kaya, I should say. Shadow's Verdict also does, but I think I could also do Decay. I actually kind of like Decay and Growth Spiral here. So we're going to want to go green, black, and then we have green, blue, yeah, Decay. Play your land. Gideon, yeah, so now I'm glad I held on to the binding. So it's like a black-white tokens deck almost. No. We'll hold that for now. Okay. What do we fetch with this? We have red, white, blue, green. We could get black. We got double blue. We got double red. We got triple green. So we could just get black with this. Could also get white, but black is more necessary. Black, red, white, blue, green. And I'm gonna play this out. Take a hit. Maybe they could kill this. Kill what I do here. I don't think I want Valky. Not yet. But I think I do want to refill my hand. Get another bring to light. Yeah. I mean, we got another Niv or some sort. If I draw a land, though, I think what I'll do is binding and play Caryatid if they answer this Niv here. Draw a card. Can they kill it? Huh. Oh, because they tapped this. I think they messed that up. I think they meant to kill it. Yeah. All right. So I don't know if I want D-Spark here. Um, Knight could be a thing because that'll destroy tomes. Though I don't know if I particularly care too much about that. I think we just grind. I feel like it's a mid-range. This is going to be kind of a mid-range deck. So, I mean, maybe D-Spark is good. Maybe I hedge. We could take out an Oath of Kaya. D-Spark. Oath of Kaya doesn't, I don't think, kill as much. D-Spark probably kills a lot more. If it is a tokens deck, we'll probably want Clarion. I don't think we want Verdict. Bring in D-Sparks. Um, Probably not going to be good, so maybe we do bring in a Knight. Sorry, Fatal Push and Kalidas I don't think are going to be good. Again, I didn't see any cheap creatures out of them. Yeah, and I think we'll mostly just be able to grind them out. I think Tulsimir can still be relevant because it can hit, one of their tokens or something like that. Um, or maybe I take out Tulsimir and go with the other Knight. Hits tomes. Maybe they have enchantments, or otherwise it's a 4/3. Uh, is there anything I maybe want? No? Okay, we'll try that out. I think I'm good with everything else. We are playing against a slower deck, and our mana is good. Nothing till turn 4 on the draw. Hmm. Don't really like that. They are a slower deck. I'm going to mull this time. This is a keep, and we'll put back, I guess, Omnath. Play the Triome. Then we go Crag next turn. Okay, so there's a reason to keep in some of the removal spells. Don't know entirely what people are doing just yet. We can kill that with Nahiri, though. There's a tome. We don't care about killing it with that. Um, we can go Nico, get a shard, but then they kill it. So I'm not thrilled about that. I like just holding up Growth Spiral, and I'll wait on casting that. Draw a card. Yep. Swamp. Growth Spiral. Nah. Niv Daddy. Nice. A lot of cheap spells. I have a lot of cheap ways to interact. I have Nico Aris and Nahiri. Um, I'm not blocking. Not trading a 5 mana for a 2 mana card. So they drew a card and they're probably going to kill Niv here. Not going to make the same mistake. Yeah, sure. So that's their turn. And that's fine with me. We can now, we could decay this. I might just take another hit from this in order to destroy this. I might take another hit from the Aetherborn to destroy that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See what they do here, because we may, if they have something really big, we may want to just maybe not grow Spiral, but instead despark. They got something big. Soren, nice. I mean, I guess we could. I don't think we necessarily need to. We could probably just grow Spiral here, and we could do all the things. Get a Plains. Despark. Kind of glad I brought this in. They're at 5 cards. I'm going to play out the Triome. Or am I? No, I think I want the mana. Get rid of that. Play. And we're holding up another Despark. Hopefully they don't play anything like, oh, well, we got a lot of black now because of the Urborg. Got a lot of black mana. Yep. And Murderous Rider. So I guess we Despark here. There. Night of Autumn. We'll go Nico. And how much do we want? We could draw a bunch of cards. We could do 2. We could block this Murderous Rider unless they make me sack. No, we'll just create a shard. Draw the cards. Draw the cards. Yep. Have an answer to that. Yep. Yep. Not worried about any of this. Okay, so there's an Omnath. I think first order of business is Actually, before we make a decision, let's get more info. So we'll plus. Yes, this is not doing anything. I mean, I don't. Wow. Okay. Don't particularly care about that. Black, red. Kill here. So we could get rid of the gifted Aetherborn with the Nico. I can knock them off that. Oh, no creatures tapped. Okay. Do we just go on that? That's the question. They'll be able to draw a card. If I play Knight, I could still draw a card next turn. I will lose Nico if they attack. I think I like. I guess this is higher upside. The argument for Nico is that for maybe Knight and Nico would be that I could have held up mana to draw a card. All right, that's a land. So we're likely to lose Nico, so I'm just going to create a shard token. So they'll be able to draw another card with this. They're going to block the lane. Hold on. Yeah. I don't see your glasses over here. Did you check in the kitchen on the table? All right, so they want my stuff dead. They could kill. They can't kill both planeswalkers still. Nahiri. Sure, Nahiri down. So binding. Okay. We can binding the Aetherborn. We could destroy this. Or do I want to hold up mana? Um, I want to destroy this because I don't want him to draw cards. So I think that's the play. Scrying. And now they could pay. What did they do? Put one card on the bottom. Now they could cash in. I'm going to cash in Nico here. Create a shard. Because they could just attack it down anyways. I want to get as much value out of this as I can. Bye, Dreadbore. Fine with me. So they're going to go double Sham Vent. Oh no, they're going to draw a card. Okay. Now they could Sham Vent. Block, and we could kill a thing. What are we missing? What do we need more of? Probably just Ketria, right? We don't have. We have a lot of blue. We have some black. We'll get Zagoth. So I'm gonna. Maybe I should have waited for this because of Omnath. I'm just gonna get here. Put on the bottom. So I can't really cast anything. I'm gonna wait on drawing cards with the shards. Aetherborn, sure. They can double Shamvent, or no, they're probably gonna lock the lane. Now Shamvent, and they're not gonna reduce my life total like all here, but they're gonna gain life. So and I can't kill them. So there's all value with doing that for them. Nope. All right. Beautiful. Now my characters have Death Touch, exactly what I needed. Now the question is, I think I just bring the light Niv. Do we bring the light and Valky? I don't think so. We could do both. We can also just get Scarab Daddy and get Niv. They just conceded. Okay. You think it was Valky plus Niv? Yeah, that's possible. There's a bunch of lines. All right, so let's go for our next match. First Niv? What do you mean first Niv? It would have been my first Niv to cast in that game? No, I cast the Niv earlier that they killed with Murderous Rider. So far I've liked Nico. It's a little awkward sometimes in that. Oh, I mean, first on Bring to Light. Yeah, first Niv, then Valky. Yeah, that was possible. Only thing with Valky, well, they didn't have a significant enough of a board to really damage it, I guess. So we probably just could have got it going. Yeah, we see what. Yeah, first Niv, then Valky. That might have been the play there. I was also thinking of Scarab God plus because it would have been more efficient on mana with Scarab God plus getting the Niv from my graveyard. Uh, it's a little slow on the draw, so I'm gonna mulligan this. Can't keep that. Go to 5. Have to keep. We'll put back a Dreadbore and a Niv. Okay, so this looks like it could be. Oh, that was a good draw. This looks like it could be the Auras deck, Black White Auras. It is. I am so smart. Don't laugh at me. My daughter's laughing at me because I said I'm so smart. All right. Well, we're probably dead, but we're gonna try anyways. Um, Do I get black or do I get blue? Yeah, I'm USA. I'm in California, Southern California. Eh, get blue. Valky. Where are you from, Triple? Italy. Where in Italy? Ah, Milan. Are you a football fan? Inter or Milan? AC? AC Milan. It's a great club. I don't know what my opponent's thinking about. Just smack me. Oh, where to put the grist spoon? Okay. Yeah, I'm not blocking. So this is definitely going to get. Oh, there's the Shadows verdict. So do we Valky here? I don't think so. I think what we do is we hope they put some more pants on this Alcides. Well, yeah. So there's the blowout potential for them having something. Do I take this damage? Yeah, I think so. I really don't want to take. What I'm going to try to do is kill this Alcide. They're probably going to Karametra's Blessing and protect it. So then I'm going to untap and try to um, kill something else. Like, hopefully be able to get another kill spell in. Uh, so here I think is here I think here's where I think I try to cast this. Knew I had it. Knew they had it. That's why I didn't cast it. I should have maybe cast it last turn. So now they're tapped out, but I think I'm just straight dead, right? I have to hope they don't have pants to suit up their dudes, but I think they do. And then I have to hope I draw a land that doesn't pain me, and I'd be able to cast a Shadow's Verdict. Oh, I'm dead. And I'm dead. DED. All right. Fatal Push. Kalidas Knight. This matchup makes me want to have Back to Nature, but we don't have it, so here we are. Valky Exile stuff. This will kill something. Tolsimir is good. Nico will kill something. Tolsimir is good. Maybe Valky's a little too expensive. Asika blocks. Probably get rid of a Niv. Scaregod's not for this kind of matchup. Probably don't want too many Omnath. It gains life. Yeah, the new wolf. I have the new wolf, but I was not trying it yet. What does the new wolf? What does the text say? It exiles, which is really good. Collection. Whenever a permanent opponent controls is put into a graveyard for the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sarulf. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Seraph has one or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may remove it. Yeah, it looks like it could be. I am a little weary of relying on my stuff in my opponent's graveyard. My opponent's stuff going to the graveyard in order for this to be effective. That said, we can kind of force it. I do get that. There's running two in the main deck. Yeah, it could be good. My plan for the matchup is generally like Shadow's Verdict. Um, try to keep them off guys with Clarion uh, and Fatal Push. This matchup was a lot easier before with when we had our friend Teferi. Maybe we just don't do Omnath at all. Tolsimer gains life. Actually, probably not. Probably just cut the growth spirals, right? Is there anything else that we want? Yeah, it seems pretty good. Um, we have interaction and a sweeper. Hopefully they don't suit up too big for this Clarion, but we could kill a thing that gets too big with Dreadbore. So we'll go Zagoth first. Stone Coil, sure. Knew that was coming. Um, Triome. We also have the Bring the Light to ramp to. They keep a one land hand. No, they did not. Easy here. This will not deal with, that actually will not deal with Stone Coil Serpent because it has protection from multicolored. So maybe what we do here, I saw that he was playing, because I'm in the Discord, so I saw he posted what he was playing up in there. I think we just do Dreadbore here and hold on to the Deafening Clarion for when they have more of a board. Otherwise, it's just spending 3 mana to kill a 2 mana card. We are looking to essentially just stay alive to get to Bring the Light here and Shadow's Verdict. I Oh wow, they just went and got that dude. Okay, I think I'm not going to play Nahiri into this um, because Nahiri I'm going to hold up. They didn't play anything else there. What do they have? I can Nahiri now and cycle through something. Do I like that? That's the question. I could pitch the Fabled Passage. Let's play the island. I guess. Do something this turn with my mana. Okay. So they just have mono creatures. Okay. So the question is, do we just bring the light here? We could kill. We have answers to. We have answers to the other guy. To Luris. So I think we do bring the light here. I guess what we could do first is, yes, maybe we draw it. We could pitch Caryatid. There's a Niv. We could cast Niv. Wait for them to suit up a little more. Yeah. I don't mind taking a hit if I have to. Green. They could get Thoughtseize though. Whatever. I'm gonna Niv. They don't have much going on. Night of Autumn. Another Bring the Light. Okay. They conceded. Anything else I want here? Do I maybe want to take out Growth Spiral altogether because it doesn't do anything and Niv at least does something? Probably. Um, maybe it's not Niv and another, but yet another Omnath could be a thing. Omnath, I had a game last week where Omnath kept me in it against this deck big time. Because I kept drawing the Fabled Passages and you could just crack on their turn. Nico. I don't actually know if Nico's going to be good here. It can kill something, I guess. But their guys get very big. I don't think I like it as much on the draw. It might just be... I'm thinking between Niv or Omnath. Or going back to the Growth Spiral because it's cheap. I don't like all the fives. 5 mana spells, so I think... really don't like Growth Spiral. Sure. I don't know if this was right. I'm just going to try something. It's not that it ramps you, right? So that's pretty important, but the only thing is it doesn't kill anything. So you do like that it ramps, but I'm mostly looking for in this matchup removal spells and threats. Or anything that can like block or so forth. That kind of essentially anything that prolongs the game and allows me to get to the late game, and then I want threats for the late game. And Growth Spiral helps get you to the threats for the late game, but uh, it doesn't keep them off of what they're doing. This is a great hand against them. Whatever they do here, I'll kill. I could wait for them to suit it up, but I don't think so. I think we just kill stuff. Because the problem that could happen there is that they could have Karametra's Blessing, and then that Fatal Push just didn't do us much of anything. Now, if they have something like SRAM here, and we don't have a removal spell for it, then we're in a bad spot. We also have the Shadow's Verdict in hand. Yeah. Removal spell. Yeah. Yeah. So was worried about. Alright, it's going to play Fabled Passage. Hopefully they don't have Thoughtseize. If they do, whatever. Is this just like another mono creature hand? Nope, they pants in it. Draw a card. There's a land. I guess we'll get red with this. Oof, rough. Probably dead. Mono fives. This is where Spiral probably would have been nice because it gets us. So maybe I wanted Spiral and not so much of the fives. We wanted a little bit more cheap interaction here, but was not forthcoming. Am I just dead? Just dead. Concede. Not going to make him play through it. All right. See if we can get the pity chest, pity point here. So, Seraph, you say, is what they're trying. Maybe we cut here. Oh, it's just right there. Seraph Realm Eater. We can try that out. Yeah, it was a really good hand. I think it was correct for me to push, and then just hope that I draw, more interaction, gamble that, they don't have. What I would say is correct for me to push their turn one play, but it didn't work out for me. They had to follow, they had SRAM to follow up, and I just ended up with nothing but 5 drops and lands in my hand. So I still think it was a good hand. I still think my turn one play was correct. Um, because there's ways that they could have gone really south for me if I didn't kill the favorite hoplite there. So you can't win every game, even if you play your best. I still haven't. So I've seen Nico Eris a bunch, and I've been pretty impressed. I still not have. I still have not seen Asika. The one time when it was in my hands and I was able to cast it, it looked like it was, it could have been pretty good. I'm speaking more of the 5 drop side, but it's still like you play it and do nothing that turn. Is that how it goes? Where did it go? At the beginning of your upkeep, yeah. So you have to play it and then you just don't do anything. All right. This is a keeper. We're gonna go Triome into Crag and Caryatid. And we have Stomping Ground. I do like seeing just different decks playing, like we played against a black-white deck, a blue-black. Now we have a Stomping Ground. So I just like um, Orzhov, another 2 Orzhov decks. I just like that I'm seeing a little bit more variety in just the one league. Whereas, before you played an Orzhov deck, like not the Auras, but the one we played before, it was just kind of a joke. What are they doing? I could Valky, take a look. I'm not getting to Valky anytime soon. They could probably kill it though. That's the only thing. So I think I'd actually just rather hold a Decay. That's dying. Ferocidon. What do I want this to get? Probably in. I'll probably want to get Swamp. I'm thinking we might want an island too, but I think I want to keep against an aggro deck. Carried it untapped. All right. So I think I'm going to want the Verdict. I think we ditch Dreadbore here. Maybe it's Valky. Is this going to be a Valky game? The Green God. No, I don't think you use a Nif Delight. What I was thinking with the Green God was the other side where it kind of like does like a cascade thing into uh yeah, it does like a cascade thing into a creature or a planeswalker, and you could put it onto the battlefield. So it gets you threats, but it takes a turn for it to do it. Yeah, we're not worried about that. All right, so there's a land. I think we ditch +2. The Caryatid. Maybe we get another land. Well, we can kill the Phoenix here. It will take 2 cards to do it, though, and I'm not really a fan of doing that, so I think I'd rather my Nahiri take a hit. Yeah, in that case, you don't. Yeah, you want to play Niv instead. Niv is almost always the correct thing to play. Sometimes it's Valky. Uh, oh, sure, yeah, you could do that. They're spending a lot of resources killing this thing. That's fine. Well, those Bone Crusher Giants weren't doing much of anything, so. Yeah, I'd rather make correct plays than meme, and the enchantment side of Asika is still a bit of a meme, right? You know, if I had Valky in the deck, it would be kind of sweet here getting a Phoenix, but we don't. So we're just gonna have to settle for a Niv. Blue, green, white, and red. Yeah, the only spot would be if the hand is full, maybe, yes. That speaking of a full hand, they're not giving up. I'm gonna try to race with a Clothis. Alright, so I think we just play this. Sure. Yeah, you could spray that. There goes my threat, but I also kind of feel a bit ahead here. Um, and I don't think this is killing us anytime soon. So the question is, do I want to Oath of Kaya this, or do I want to just... I think I want to hold on to a Dreadbore in case they have something bigger. Um, Probably get my value out of Oath of Kaya while I can. And hold up options to like decay or whatever. Also, if they turn Clothis, if they manage to turn Clothis into a creature, we could get rid of it with Shadow's Verdict. But we still have Nahiri in our deck to take care of this. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to block. Grow spiral. Yeah. Hmm. I think we're going to hold on to the Fabled Passage just in case. We could Clarion here, but we'll lose our Caryatid. I don't think I Verdict here either to that end. So it's a little ouch. Maybe it was Clarion? I don't know. This is where Uro would have been nice. Not the world we live in anymore. Hopefully we draw an answer to this Clothis. I mean, we got a long time to do so, but it would suck if we just not draw anything for it. Scarab Daddy's not bad. We could get our own Phoenix. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have to go here. I guess we get forest or plains. Probably plains actually. We have a lot of every other color. The Scarab Genius. So they already grabbed my Niv. Oh no, Niv was exiled anyways, right? So we could see what they do with their Clothis. What are they getting with it? Because we could bring back their dude. Really. Bone Crusher. Yeah. Now, blocking. Do we just let this go? Is that weird if I just let that go so I could hit everything with Shadow? Well, Shadow. No. I think we kill it. I don't think we're on the Shadows Verdict plan anymore. I think we're just going to try to take over with Genius. They can't have Lance Spell. They only have one card in hand. We gotta put these on the stack. Okay, they concede. This is a matchup that's good for Niv. This is the kind of matchup that would be good for Niv. Um, Maybe D-Spark? For the Phoenixes, kind of really didn't have a problem dealing with it. I actually don't think, because their stuff is too big for Nico. Um, we want Nahiri. Maybe cut a growth spiral or two. Sika blocks everything they do, basically, so I think this card will be good. Maybe we don't want Valky. They are a little bit, they don't go wide so much. So Shadow's Verdict essentially kills, they're mostly threes, so I think I like that. It could be cut a Niv, but it blocks everything and they can't kill it. So, hmm, cut a Spiral, uh, Valky, maybe. This I do want to, pretty quickly get to 5. Clarion seems good too. They got to be playing elves, right? So maybe we don't care so much about binding. Um, you know what they might be playing? Roiling Vortex. So maybe we take out here. You think cut one Niv? I think they might be playing Roiling Vortex. So I'm actually going to cut Nivs. Or not Nivs, sorry. Cut the Bring the Lights. And I think I'll just try to go to Valky. Because Valky answers a lot of what they do as well. And just try to hardcast it. This I think it might be cut a Niv, but again, that's purely on speculation that I'm doing this here. That I think they might I think any red deck is essentially going to play Royal and Vortex and bring it in against us. So I'm kind of anticipating that. Uh, do not like mana confluence here. Skip. Uh, yeah, keep. Uh, is it put back Omnath? Put back Niv? Hmm. Uh, I think Niv is harder for them to deal with. Uh, Omnath gains life. Eh, could be wrong. Reasoning for putting back the Omnath as opposed to Niv is Nahiri kills, well, opposed to other stuff in my hand. So Fatal Push and Carried It are obvious. Keeping Nahiri because Nahiri kills stuff, including Klothys, and Niv will, if I could get to Niv, that will allow me to, uh, get back into this game, draw cards. I'm not as much worried about Elf out of a deck like this as I am out of like Mono Green Devotion. I am still likely going. Well, I'm not even going to kill the Elf here. I'm just going to play out Caryatid. Okay, so the mana's working out, so we will be able to Niv. We can't double spell though, so depending on what we draw, we might just hold up push next turn. Not blocking, don't care. Uh, so they could be a collected company deck. This could be a Coco that we're seeing here. I like gaining life. I'm on board with that. We could double spell soon after that. We lose a blocker and carried it though, which is a problem. but I can't do anything else except hold up Fatal Push. So we want to play Zagoth for sure. They could. So an argument for not oathing. Well, I can't even push this. So an argument for not oathing is they could get Ferocidon, but we still kill something. So I think that's correct. We could force their hand and kill the elf, but I think we just try to. They don't. Huh? Huh. I guess they play. Oh no, they're not a collected company deck because they play Phoenix. That's right. Likely not a collected. So this is Gargaroth, a Glorybringer. That's dying. Sure. I mean, it's not dying, but we could just Niv here. Oh, we could do all the things. We could do all the things. White, red. Oh yeah. Just don't draw swamp. Oh yeah. That's the thing to do. Yay. They could kill Omnath with Glorybringer, but they sack their Glorybringer into my Niv, which you go, oh, well then they could just kill Niv with something else, but meh. Uh, spray. You can't Glorybringer this. Oh, but it makes their Glorybringer trade. Yeah, I'm not blocking at all. All right, so we get rid of Chandra. Yeah, Uro into, sorry, Omnath into Niv is still a thing to do. We could just get rid of this. We could also play Scarab God. Ooh, playing Scarab God's kind of cool because we could just wait till next turn to get rid of that, right? Yeah, we want red. Just play the Scarab, Jesus. I love that we could play Scarab God again because I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards. You're probably just dead, opponent. Kill a dude. Now we'll just use this. Deck is still powerful, yes. Put on the bottom. We have a land. Gain some life. I don't think they're playing Settle the Wreckage, so I'm kind of cool with this. I also have Abrupt Decay and Fatal Push-Up, and they're just dead next turn. They could do whatever they want with this here. They basically just killing an Omnath. Sure. So they're going to Magma Spray it? Lava Coil. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that trade. All right, so we'll go. They're still pretty dead unless they have an answer to Niv and Omnath. Yeah, they don't. Okay, so 3-2. Um, it's definitely, and I think Claudio said in the Discord, the deck is definitely a lot weaker. But again, um, a key thing to note is that the format is just weaker in general. And um, I do think we've lost a step on Black White Auras, which was I think at least a lot closer to even before with Teferi and Omnath. But um, as a whole, I'm kind of okay with as a whole, I'm kind of okay with the changes. It's cool and it's fun to be able to play different stuff now that some of these cards were banned. Like I just said, like I'm excited that I can play the Scarab God again, and it's a good card. You know, I'm excited to let's figure out what are some spots that we could fill in the three or in the four or whatever. So I think there is a lot of room for this deck to grow still. More sets are going to be come out. I don't think this deck is ever going to be really irrelevant. It's maybe not going to be as powerful as it was before, but again, that's okay because I think as a whole, it makes the format a little bit more interesting, a little bit more playable. You're going to see an influx of different decks. We played a different deck basically each round, uh, and it was really refreshing and nice to see that I think people could do a lot of things. Like there's a black white deck that we torched. Um, I think it was the second, maybe second or third round I think, and um, you know we looked fantastic against it. Like if the format was a lot of those kind of decks, and then Niv would dominate. But the thing is that deck could be good against some of the other decks running around out there. It could be good because I imagine it's playing fatal pushes and so forth, so it could be good against the black white decks. So we just don't know. You take the staples, you take pillars out of the format in Uro, in Teferi, Wilderness Reclamation, and all of a sudden you open up so much room for so many other different cards, so many other different decks, and so this format is just going to change very, very drastically. And new decks are going to emerge, hopefully. I think so. And the initial scare of aggro taking over, I think it's going to happen at first, and I think aggro is going to remain one of the best decks. But there's been a lot of good cards. The cards that were just taken out of the format were close to busted. I don't think Teferi was in that level, but um, overall they were close to busted. We still have access to Omnaths. We still have access to some really strong cards, and other cards are going to now get their chance to shine that can compete. So given that there's still some really busted things, I don't know what else could really survive. Like I said, Niv basically eats any other mid-range deck, and then it's going to be hard for other mid-range decks to survive in a format full of like ramp, for example. That's going to still be a good player, but you're not just. I don't think the format is simply just going to be mono green, red decks, like burn decks, and um, black white auras and Niv and ramp. I think you're going to, like I said, from what I heard, there's a new Sultai deck that's emerging, and Sultai has over the course of the past several years received a lot of powerful cards. A card I was thinking of for this deck is Hydroid Krasis. That could be it's probably a little slow for Pioneer, but power level is really good there. And if there's a decent slow, a decent deck with a lot of removal, Krasis could be a good card once again. I think there's going to be a lot of Yorion decks that are going to pop up that we're going to see. And I think the Sultai deck is a Yorion deck, but there might be others, Blink decks and so forth, maybe some sort of Esper Control. I do think Control has knocked down a serious peg with Teferi getting pushed out of the format because that was arguably their best card. Um, but I do think there can still exist control decks. We're just going to have to wait because they're going to be reacting to where the format shapes up. So at the very beginning of formats, you're going to be proactive, and then people are going to figure out what they have to metagame against, and then start answering those decks. And that's kind of what we're trying to do with Niv. That's what a lot of people in the Discord are trying to do. We need to answer aggro, all the aggros that's going on. We need to answer the Lotus Field combo, right? And then we're going to kind of see what else is out there. Another archetype that I think is that got better or is going to be more playable is possibly Winota, any kind of green-red deck, mono green, aggro, not devotion style, but just kind of the stompy decks. Um, so uh, I think Pioneer now at least has a chance to uh, to really kind of open up and allow some other powerful cards that have existed actually shine. I'm just looking at my cards up here, and maybe Skyclave Shade becomes more of, or sorry, Shade Skyclave Apparition. Is going to become more of a card. We're going to see a little bit more mono black again. So it's just I'm I'm just happy with it and generally excited. And I don't think Niv dies, but I also think it's okay that this deck is not as good as it used to be. And I still, given that we basically play every color, we could still tune the deck to essentially beat any other deck or be relevant in almost any meta. And I do think the deck still could do powerful things, as you can see there. Um, we're still very capable of that, and uh, and it's just going to be fun overall. I think as of right now, Magic is fun again, as opposed to before. It was still fun, but you're just going through the motions. I've always enjoyed playing Niv, even in busted metas. I loved playing Niv in the meta with Inverter and the Ballista combo with Heliod, and Lotus Field. I didn't like playing against Lotus Field so much, but I loved the Inverter matchup, and I loved the Mono White matchup. They were fun games. So I've just, the point I'm trying to make is I've always enjoyed Niv, but now it's just a little bit more exciting to be playing it. We're playing different cards, and that's just that's cool. I like that. It's more interesting. Maybe it'll break down and not be that great again in a little while, but whatever. For the time being, we get to enjoy this, and it's awesome. So, moving forward, I liked a lot of. I felt the deck felt good. I mean, even in that Auras match where we got blown up in that game three or whatever it was, game two. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was game two. We lost 2-0. I don't know. Um, it really didn't feel like we were that far off. Um, maybe Saroff is pretty good there, so I'm willing to try it. I still, maybe we do only want to Omnath. I still, you saw the turns that you could get when you have Omnath, right? And Omnath plus Fabled Passage, it happens. It's not like it's a pipe dream. I've had it happen in multiple games, even just the last, I would say, 5 leagues that I've played. So it also gains us a lot of life, draws a card. So I kind of still like playing 3 here. And, um, you know, it's possible that we really don't want a Sika, or maybe we don't want the growth spiral. So this could be something that we're looking at. 2 growth spiral, uh, and then keep a Sika because it is a good blocker. I want to try it out. I think we're going to try something like this. Maybe I will go here. I do like having cheaper cards. I do want to make sure I ramp. But 4 carroted, 2 spiral, 1 Asika, I think is generally good enough. And binding also kind of gets us there. Uh, I'm not playing Utter End right now, and I don't feel like I missed it. So I think I'm just going to keep going with this for now. Um, I think the sideboard is generally good. I kind of made the change with the Hour of Devastation, another card that I'm thinking of that would be nice. somewhere along the lines would be if auras is the deck, would be possibly return or back to nature. What is it? Back to nature. Yeah, back to nature, destroy all enchantments. Pretty narrow though, which is why Knight of Autumn is a bit better. Also, Fatal Push is just great in that matchup. So I think, I think here, Seraph seems like it's good here. It could be good there too. So, um, willing to basically give that a whirl. Try this card out. So I think that's where I'm going to go next. I'm going to give Asika another shot. I was impressed with Nico Aris. I did like it. I don't think it's good against every aggro deck. So, that red green deck, I don't think is particularly great there. It's probably okay, but I think we have better cards. Um, and I don't think it's good against black white auras, but against I think against a red deck and against basically any other deck that's slower or kind of on the same pace as us, this is going to be great. Uh, it kind of filled one of the needs that I was worried about when we lost Uro and when we lost Teferi is drawing cards. Now you you have to sink more mana into it, but again, I think that's all right because the format is powered down quite a bit. So I think this is an okay replacement. As a one of maybe even two. W on turn three can be trouble. Double blue. So blue is our secondary color. So double blue on turn three can be trouble, but it's not as much trouble as like double red, double white, or double black. Um, you, a lot of times, we're going to have like overgrown tomb or like Zagoth, like heck, Zagoth Triome into X land, play carried it, and boom, there you go. You already have all your blue. Um, well, you don't have the white, so that, sure, that is a thing. But oftentimes we're not looking to just play this straight on turn three. When you can, it's great, but we do have other plays. You have Asika, you have Oath, you have Definite and Clarion. We're often going from 2 to 4. So I'm not often looking to play this on just turn three and getting a shard, though you can do that, and it's effective, or killing a creature that's tapped. Um, so yeah, you're right. It is double blue is tough to get. Plus also having the white, yes. But I think, um, I again, like I said, I'm mostly okay with that, and just giving it another shot. I thought it was good everywhere else I drew it and played it, where it was drawing a lot of cards. Um, it was only one. This is my first league since the ban. I wasn't able to play yesterday. If I'm going to try to play some Magic tomorrow, but I think I might just try. I might try Legacy because I'm pretty excited for that format right now. Um, but next time I play Niv, maybe I'll play tomorrow. I don't know, off stream, or maybe I'll stream. Who knows? We'll see how I feel. Uh, I want the hour for mono green and for uh, black white auras. Um, I don't think there's really anything else. This feels about correct with where we want to be. There's cards I'm going to try and not sure about is Asika. Valky just may not be that good for the format right now. Um, but I still most of the matches I still felt like it was it maybe not necessarily the front side of Valky itself, but the back side was still powerful enough and would do a lot. So I think a one of is still pretty warranted. Just bring the lighting for a Dibble is still doesn't seem like it's that bad. The Scarab God seemed great, so I'm pretty happy with this being in the 75 somewhere. Um, Other cards that feel necessary is at least two Omnath. Tolsimur is really good. Some number of Growth Spiral. Sylvan Caryatid is a staple. You don't want to cut those. And then these removal spells still all seem very relevant. Um, I think having the Clarion and having at least two sweepers is where we want to be. Binding the old gods, I felt is probably a little better right now than Utter End for now. For now, maybe it changes and we want the catch-all exile effect. But this is essentially a catch-all, except it just doesn't destroy it. One thing where it came up was it doesn't really get. It wasn't going to get a Phoenix, the Rekindling Phoenix, and wasn't going to get Clothis, but I'm kind of okay with that. We have other ways to deal with that. We're generally good against those decks, so okay, fine. This mostly answers everything we want. So what we're going to be looking at is seeing if Asika is good and seeing if Seraph is good. And from what I hear, Claudio thinks this is good, and generally if Claudio thinks it's good, it probably is good. So the only thing I'm going to go with something like this. The only thing I'm just not sure I want to do is if I want to continue with the Omnaths, if I want to just do two, or if I want three, and cutting the growth spiral. Uh, and honestly, think I might just want to do that um, and try something like this. So, um, yeah, mana also felt, except for one match, one game, the mana felt pretty good. So I'm still going to be keeping an eye on where I might want to make changes, but as of right now, I felt like this mana base still was okay. Is still, just ported over from a previous deck. I kind of, just did some rough numbers, like I said, considering how the land count that we have, the color requirements. I still think it's green, blue, black, and then like red, white, or red and white are potentially interchangeable, but uh, we definitely want plenty of green and blue pretty early on. So, anyways, yeah, that's really it. I think this is what I'll look at playing next. Another deck that I'm considering is something like this. Not exactly this 95. There's, uh, I'll probably take some things from here. Could play like a Nico Aris somewhere in here, I think. Um, play. Maybe we don't want all these Oath of Nissas, though they are blink targets. We could play, like I said, maybe we want the Nico in there, maybe Seraph. Um, but this is I'm open to maybe this being a good deck. Maybe we don't play so many Omnaths. We get something else in there. So I don't know. This could be something that we look into doing. Yorion is not as good um, without Teferi, but I am open to trying this deck out and seeing where it is because again, it's a wide open meta. And before, I straight up felt that 60 was far better than 80 because 80 is just too inconsistent. And that's still the case now, except as I said, you're not going to be niving or bring to lighting as much, before. But the difference now is again the power level of the entire format has dropped. So my biggest concern is can this deck keep up with aggro? Could this deck keep up with like the Lotus Field? I think over longer games this deck is fine. And this deck will do well. So you could, if the meta goes to more mid range and control, then you're okay with this deck, and you might even maybe even be better than 60. Don't take that as me saying, oh, 100% better than 60. It might be though. Um, my my concern is with the inconsistency, could it keep up with the aggro decks? And again, we don't know unless we try. Uh, Before it did struggle, and the aggro decks really haven't changed. So my inclination is no, that it cannot. So uh, I am still willing to try it, but maybe now is not the time for this, for something like this, and maybe we have to wait, or maybe we can tune it enough to where it can compete. Two decks, three decks I'm really worried about. Where I struggled with this deck against were not so much burn, but black white auras and mono green aggro. And uh, those, if you don't draw your pushes, if you don't draw back to nature, if you don't draw a way to get Shadow's Verdict, you're probably just done. You're just spinning your wheels. So those are kind of a big deal. Anyways, that's going to be it for my stream and the video. I will. I took about a week off after the last time I streamed was 2 weekends ago, um, because the uh, pretty much was somewhere around like Monday or so, like a week or a little over a week ago, they announced Secret Lair where they said Uro is going to be banned. So kind of pointless to play a lame duck format. So I didn't make any. I still played, but I didn't stream or anything like that. I actually just finished. I finished a league that I had started and mostly played Hades during that time, and then tested a lot in the practice rooms with just different variations where of different builds that did not include Uro. Didn't at the time didn't know Teferi was going to get banned, so was still playing Teferi. Um, Anyways, I plan on streaming fairly consistently, probably at least once a week, making videos, at least once or twice a week, something like that. Though I do kind of flip between multiple formats. If you're interested, if you're watching this right now and you're interested at all, I probably will be making videos in Legacy, playing my favorite deck in Legacy, which is lands. Um, have a lot of different, some players in the lands Discord posting success already playing, going back to red green. Some playing red green splash blue for Uro because Uro's not banned in that format, not yet, anyways. And punishing fire, sushi land, which is playing spreading algae and so forth. And also modern is possibly, yeah. You see all my modern decks here. Well, here are not legal anymore. But maybe potentially played some modern. And mostly what we just need to change here is just I need to cut the field of the deads and the Uros. And modern is looking cool again. So I might even I used to stream Amulet Titan, and I might even get back to doing this. As you can see, I haven't updated my decks. It's because I haven't been playing because modern just hasn't looked that interesting to me when it was just completely blue soup and then just went busted for a while. So, uh, but Pioneer is still my favorite format. Well, Pioneer and Legacy. Um, so I will be streaming, and Niv is one of my favorite decks, so I will be streaming a lot of this, and I will be streaming it soon. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a good night, everyone.